And going over to the culture part of the podcast, you have Planet Fitness male who identified as female exposed himself in the locker room and got arrested subsequently, with some alleging that this individual exposed himself in front of a minor. We're still waiting for the confirmation. Now, this comes to us thanks to Lives of TikTok, and she says, quote, breaking, a man who identifies as a female arrested after stripping naked in a Planet Fitness women's locker room. Quote, this is from the dispatch or 911 call. It's a man, but he says he identifies as a woman, and he won't leave the restroom, but he's just walking around showing his junk. He won't leave. That was a caller told at 911 dispatch. Lives of TikTok continued saying, quote, Planet Fitness is not safe for women, unquote. Well, more bombastic than that, or more loud than that, since it was all caps, with 2 exclamation points. And this individual, I don't want to say this individual's lazy, but not put much effort into trying to disguise or change the appearance. I guess long hair, but he's got stubble and a very strong jawline. They went viral, to say the least. They got 2.6 million views and 32,000 likes. I mean, this is not surprising given Planet Fitness policies, but I wonder, did it hurt the stock when this first broke last week? Let's see here. Planet Fitness stock. And ever since the controversy debuted, I mean, at short term, it lost about $400 million in stock value, but subsequently people bought the stock, so it about evened within a couple of days of the controversy, where you had the nice grandma in the locker room and she noticed a biological man changing in front of women in the locker room, actually shaving. Took a picture of that and showed management, and grandma goes, hey, this is inappropriate. Planet Fitness responded by canceling the membership of grandma, which shows their priorities and what they want to protect. Now, it looks like the stock, again, by the time this video is rendered and uploaded, it's going to change, but stock's $62.72 per share. They don't pay dividends, no dividend yield at all. So there's not really much of an incentive to keep the stock if you buy it, but partially digress. It looks like when the news broke, it went down by about 1%. And last week, overall, it looked like it was up by about a percentage. 1 month is down by 0.93%. Past 6 months, it's increased to 22.5%. Because again, long term, they went down pretty bad. So not too surprised that in the relative short term of 6 months, it's starting to go up. But again, I mean, this is bad PR. It's bad news. But it's barely denting the stock. Now, again, that being said, a majority of their sales all come from January every single year thanks to New Year's resolutions. That's when we'll really see the fiscal impact of this. There's a couple of people quitting, but quitting subscriptions, it does take a little bit of effort, and most people don't do that. That's why, statistically speaking, every company is pushing for subscriptions because they know most people are not going to go through the effort of canceling it. Now, some of the top comments, let's see here. TikToks, actually, she responded saying, quote, here's the offender's booking details. It wasn't just an indecent exposure. The article claims it was an indecent exposure to a minor. This is Planet Fitness. This gentleman has dreadlocks on. White guy with dreadlocks, interesting. And that comment from, again, she responded to her original, and that got 8.4 thousand likes, which, again, I see, even if you're not a trans person, there's no legitimate reason for any adult to change in front of a child. And yet some people are pushing that, saying let's normalize that. It's fascinating that this has become almost a political issue. I don't think it should. I think 100% of moral Americans should say, yeah, there's no reason for a stranger to change in front of a child. Yet some people say we should normalize that, and it's all good. Although I guess it's not 1990s. I don't know if people actually say that anymore. Now, going to some of the top comments, you have Paul Suzupa saying, quote, hey, Planet Fitness, you realize that you're going to be sued into bankruptcy if you keep allowing men to invade women's locker rooms and sexually harass them like this, right? Or do you not care and just hate women more than staying in business? I'm quoting 6.2 thousand likes, which you'll be interested to see. Again, most of these things, culturally speaking, at the end of more often than not, I'd say they end up in the legal realm, and that'll be another vector where there'll be a really big public outcry, depending on how it is ruled, and that'll have a big ripple effect on, if they actually change policies or not. Red Wave Press says, quote, at least the police will protect innocent women from these deranged individuals. Planet Fitness doesn't care about women. They only care about pleasing far leftists and pedos. Follow if you agree, getting 1,000 likes. Now, that being said, this also greatly depends on the state and jurisdiction. We've seen this with many cultural issues where something might be illegal or legal, and police just kind of enforce it on their own whim. We saw this with drag shows in the United States, especially ones that target minors, where they have the quote-unquote child-friendly drag shows. No, spoiler, there's no such thing because they're all inherently sexually themed, and you're stripping it from children. Now, most areas in the U.S. on the books, in terms of the legal law, says, oh yeah, we shouldn't, that's illegal, you'll be arrested. And yet, there are some police that not only do they watch it, just let it happen, they actually protect those types of events. So some of the police are actually protecting institutions, or I guess more accurately, they're protecting some of these private companies that are hosting child-friendly drag shows. Even though it's technically illegal, but culturally speaking, a lot of those police are cowards, and some of them do believe that, oh yeah, it's a good thing to have this. So again, that's another important thing to think about. Is a big cultural thing of it might be legal or illegal on the books, but culturally, what's going to win at the end of the day? You also have Libercat Media TM saying, quote, chain gyms are no longer safe for women, stay away from them. And they have a picture of the placard from LA Fitness saying transgender individuals may use the locker room associated with the gender with which they identify. Which, that was not cheap to make. This is a nice multicolored placard. They didn't just print this out on printer paper for 18 cents, or 13 cents maybe if they did black and white. LA Fitness legitimately spent money on a plastic placard with their logo in dual color. That's not cheap. And they have that text there. They went all out. I mean, imprinting is a big industry, and usually you pay per color. That's a pretty penny. They got 1.3 thousand likes. Gunther Eagleman says, quote, time to bankrupt Planet Fitness, getting 5.7 thousand likes. Let's see here. Sandy says, quote, accurate, and is a meme of a person smiling and says, Democrats when men pretend to be women. Then the person is crying blood and angry, saying, quote, kids pretend to be Indians on Halloween. That got 3.3 thousand likes. Valentin Gomez says, quote, GL to all the pedos, we need to protect women's spaces. Also, let's get Planet Fitness delisted from the stock exchange for putting women in danger, quoting 757 likes, which is an interesting idea. I'm not sure if you could legally get a company delisted based on policies. I know the most common reason we see companies getting delisted from the New York Stock Exchange is usually because their stock drops below $1 per share, in which they usually do a reverse stock split and try to get back up to that requirement. Planet Memes says, quote, people are really abusing this as identified as crap to fulfill their gross behaviors. I'm quoting 1,000 likes. Scroll down more and more. General TM says, quote, Planet Fitness doesn't care about the customers, especially the females, getting 671 likes. Well, Turtle says, quote, Planet Fitness caters to pedos and groomers, getting 677 likes. Let's see here. Dave, the Meme Smith, has a meme, accurate name. And the meme is of a man with a trans towel in the women's locker room, and a girl says, sir, and he responds saying it's ma'am, and she says, ma'am, why do you have a boner? That got 724 likes. Let's see here. Trump AI says Planet Fitness sounds like a shithole, getting 527 likes. Wild Bill NC says boycott Planet Fitness, getting 303 likes. Bradley Production says, quote, this is exactly what we predicted would happen, getting 397 likes. Which, yeah, everyone keeps talking about the slippery slope theory. I mean, how many times do you have to see that to know it's like the slippery slope rule? It's not just a theory. It's being proven time and time again with a myriad of issues, culturally and politically. Reddit Lies says, quote, don't worry, Reddit told me this never happens. Like, we're getting 544 likes, which, yeah, that's pretty. We've seen this very many times politically and culturally. You're first told this doesn't happen. They're saying, well, it happens, but, it's not that big of a deal. And it says this happens, but why do you care? Then it says it happens, you have to care. Then it says it happens, you have to applaud it. And we've seen that with time and time again. Scrolling down, Ricky Genie says, quote, Planet Fitness choose to become the destination of perverts and weirdos, getting 63 likes. And again, there's got to be some contrarian statements in here, because, again, there are many millions of Americans who want this. It's quite concerning, but there are people who will go to Planet Fitness just because they have this policy. Now, I don't think at the end of the day that populace is enough to actually sustain the company from a fiscal perspective. That being said, in terms of the stock price, that's pretty easy to pump up because, again, that could be, you're investing just based on their belief systems, or a lot of people with a lot of money who think they want to support this institution, so they'll buy more stock. Really, we'll see, again, January 2025, we will see the tires hit the pavement, so to say, to see how much of this impact, how much of this boycott is really having an effect on them fiscally if their memberships just tank completely and the number of people that sign up for new memberships is a fraction of what it was the year before. So let me see here. do one more. So Erin Elizabeth Health Nut News says, quote, so I just filmed outside the Jacksonville Planet Fitness and posted my footage of an alleged bomb threat, of which most of us didn't think is real and maybe called in by PF. The founder just did an interview saying the gym is destroyed. Are you boycotting this shitness? And of 845 votes, 97.4 said yes, of course. 2.6% said no, I support groomer gyms. And that got 74 likes. So it'll be interesting to see at the end of the day, are they getting more clients than they're alienating based on these policies? Like, I don't think so at this time. Granted, the U.S. is changing dramatically, the demographics and preferences. So maybe someday. But again, from a purely business perspective, analytical perspective, it just doesn't seem at all to be a fiscal reason they are doing this. It has to be based on their cultural and political beliefs. Because, again, they're not making more money because of this policy. Well, so let me know, when's the last time you actually been to a Planet Fitness? Would you ever sign up for them again? And if you're a gal tuning in, do you feel safe at Planet Fitness? As always, I would be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.